Welcome to the Property Lifestyles free training. I'm Nichole Lewis and I am so excited that you have decided to take this free training on board to learn the 3 streams of income so I can show you how I make a very comfortable $17,238 per month using my simple property system, and how you can too. And the really exciting thing about this property system is that you can actually use the system without taking big risks, without spending your own money, or without being hindered by the bank's lending criteria. And you know what? When I started off in property, I simply did not know this. So I am really excited to share it with you so that you can reach your goals faster and easier. So my promise to you, after you've watched this training, which will take about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes, you will know how I use the simple system to make my $17,238 income per month. And I do that, by the way, without spending any money. In addition to making my $17,238 per month, I also make lump sums of income to use for my next deposit on a property. So I'm not stuck finding the next down payment, because in addition to my $17,000 a month and my down payments, I also have passive income coming in from my property portfolio in excess of 6 figures per annum. And I built this up in less than 10 years, and I'm going to show you how to do it too. In fact, my Wealth Building Club clients, which are the clients I coach one-on-one, I teach them how to build what I call a 250K cluster, which is a very small number of properties that are designed to earn them in excess of $250,000 passive income per annum in less than 10 years. I have to start off by telling you that there are a lot of sharks out there in property, and I've come across them. So this is a no shark zone. It really annoys the crap out of me when I hear people talking about rubbish in property. You know, they tell you half truths. They say they're amazing and they've never seen a down cycle. They're just out to rip people off. And that just goes so against my grain. What you're going to get from me is raw, real, honest. And this is property with integrity. So I always want to go for a win for you, a win for an owner, a win for a buyer. So we're always looking at a win, win, win. So let me show you what property with integrity can do for you. You can actually start to make 6 figures, and I like to say on the side. So whatever you're doing now, keep doing it, and I'm going to show you how to make an additional 6 figures quickly and easily, so that you can retire without the corporate stress. If you don't want to work the 40 years that the corporate world takes, how you can create massive opportunity simply by looking at what's already around you through different eyes. How you can make money without spending a cent of your own money. And this really excites me, because when I started in property, I did not know this. So you're going to learn it from day one. And how property is actually the largest industry in the world, and how you can tap into it. Now, let me tell you that you can do this even when the world is uncertain. In 2009, we had the Great Recession and the world went into uncertainty. And I tell you what, I suffered in that 2009 Great Recession. I lost a lot of money, and property was actually the only way I knew to get myself out of the trouble that I was in and to make myself safe again. So when the 2020 coronavirus hit, I was actually safe and secure, and I was able to help other people. But the really good news is, when the world is uncertain, property is absolutely full of opportunity. So you can really learn to capitalize and make amazing deals in an uncertain world. And when the world is thriving like it did sort of from 2010 to 2016-17, property experiences exponential growth. So I live in Auckland, New Zealand, and that was one of the areas that experienced over 200% growth. Where else can you make 200% return on your money? So when is the best time to grow your knowledge on property? The answer is now. So grab yourself a pen and paper, turn your phone off, get a drink, because what I'm about to share with you is going to change your life. You're going to go through the 3 income streams. Most people only know about stream 3, but if you, like me, use all 3 streams, you can actually accelerate your wealth tenfold. So right now, today, I make a regular income of 17238 per month, plus anytime I need 100, 200, 300,000 as a deposit for my next property, I go out there and I make that separately, and I work on my portfolio so that on top of stream 1 and 2, I have passive income coming in from my portfolio. This is exactly what I'm going to show you, so you can sleep easy. I tell you what, I have had many nights of tossing and turning and not being able to sleep because of financial stress. And property was the only thing I knew to get me out of this. And let me tell you that it works anywhere in the world, and property makes you money while you're sleeping. So I have done property in New Zealand, Australia, the UK, the USA, and South Africa, and I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, this system works. So I want to start off by just telling you a little bit about where I came from. So family is a massive value to me. That's my grandmother and my mother and my grandfather. There's my mother on her wedding day when she's marrying my dad. And there's the 3 generations, grandma, granddad, mum, and me. So the only reason I haven't got a picture of my dad is because I couldn't find one. Sorry, Dad. Family is my number 1 value. And my mum and my grandmother were exceedingly close. My parents met and married, and then had me, and then they decided to move to South Africa. And on my mother's birthday, we took a trip to Durban, and unfortunately, my life then changed forever. Tragedy struck. We came around the corner in the car, hit a truck, and my mother was killed instantly. I was just a baby at the time, so I never got to know my beautiful, amazing mother. But one day, I really believe I'm going to meet her. And I tell you what, I can't wait. So my grandparents actually ended up bringing me up. And what my grandmother taught me was, life is what you make it. She always used to say that to me. You're going to have ups and downs in life, and it's how you deal with it. And property made my life, but I had to do it the hard way. So my mission is to help 1,000 people to earn 6 figures on the side from property, just like I do, every single year. So my question to you is simply this: would you love to be one of those people I help build 6 figures? And what makes this different? Because I'm not under the illusion that you haven't read a book, been to a seminar, watched a webinar, or spoken to someone about property before. So what makes this different is simply that I have opened my doors to you. I'm going to let you into my private property lifestyle. I've already shared with you about my mum, which is something I just don't tell people. So I'm going to be raw, I'm going to be real, I'm going to be honest. And I can tell you right now, I actually live my life happy and comfortably from property. So there's my husband, myself, my 2 children, and 2 random strangers going down my absolute favourite ride, Splash Mountain in Disneyland, which we took that trip from a no money deal we made in property. My husband's retired and works with me, so our money comes from property. I'd like you to meet Carl, a really good friend of mine who's a property developer. His money comes solely from property as well, because what Carl learned was to put the property system in place. Unlike buying your own house, which is an emotional purchase, when we use the 3 income streams, it's a system that you follow step by step. And if you follow that system, you'll end up just like Carl, with the time and the money to enjoy life on your terms. And if you like winning, that is exactly what you're going to get from this free training: how to become a 6-figure property lifestyler, just like me, just like Carl and just like a whole lot of other people I'm going to introduce you to during this training. So if you stay to the end, not only will you learn how to make yourself an incredible lifestyle, I am also going to give you an absolutely amazing offer, because I'm raw, I'm real and honest. I'm going to share the good, I'm going to share the bad, I'm going to share the ugly, and I want to help you as much as humanly possible so you don't have to go through the struggle I went through, and I'm going to share that struggle with you as well. So let's start off by having a look at what average Joe's life looks like. And this is like my grandparents, to be honest. They took most of their life to pay off a little bit more than 50% of their home, but they don't manage to do it until they're in their 60s. However, they live a life of financial struggle. They watch every cent they spend. They suffered from financial stress, which is actually one of the number one reasons marriages break up in this day and age. And if they end up being above average Joe, they do manage to upgrade their house usually 3 times in a lifetime. But what property can do for you is actually amazing things for your life. You can end up with passive income. This is property stream number 3. So it doesn't matter what happens in the world, money still comes in. It's fast. You can get this in 10 years instead of 40 in the corporate job. It means you can have financial freedom, which is something most people only dream of. It also means you can get less stress. And let's face it, stress is a huge health problem in this time that we live. You get security for you and your family, and to spend time doing the things you love. This is exactly what property is going to give you, and property is the only thing I know that can give you all of this quickly and easily. So think about it for a minute. If you could have your ideal future, what would you do with a 6-figure income? Let me tell you, with property, getting to 7 figures is inevitable. I just want to get to the point where you're at 6 figures first, then we just add the 0. It's all pretty simple. There I am. That's our family photo that we took recently at home. My husband, my 2 children, Jacob and Jessica, my horse that I'm sitting on, that's Buddy and Mittens, and our beautiful dog, Jem. So this is how I live my lifestyle. This is what I love. I love the country and I love my animals. So I'm married to the best man in the world. There I am marrying Calvin a few years ago, and there's my grandmother. Now here's an interesting thing. So my grandfather had passed away at this stage. He passed away at the age of 65 last week at work before he retired, had a heart attack, passed away. So he missed the golden years. Then I became a mum. Absolutely nothing like it. The best thing in the world. And don't you instantly want to do everything you can for those children? So then I became the queen of property. Now what does that mean? Like I said to you before, I got so frustrated with people out there that didn't have integrity when it came to property. I got frustrated when I'd hear someone tell you half a story. When people would say, look at me, I've just made $5 million in property and it's so easy. And I'm thinking, man, you haven't even seen a down cycle. In an up cycle, it's easy to make money. Not 5 million, I don't believe that. I don't think you can make that in 2 years, and I've heard people claim that. Not when you're starting from nothing. But I tell you what, if they haven't seen a down cycle, don't listen to them and don't follow them. I'm raw, I'm real and honest. I've made it and lost it. I am going to tell you when I lost my 5 million. I'm going to tell you what happened to me, because I failed epically. Failure builds character. Right now, the queen of property, unlike most gurus out there, I actually make the money to pay my bills, to travel, to buy my toys, to put my next down payment on the property using these 3 income streams and multiple strategies I'm about to show you. Who am I? Family is my number one value. I want to build a legacy for my children. That's why I'm so honest, because I live by example. I completely and utterly love my animals. I had the corporate job. So I did a lot of overseas travel. I managed to have so many air points that I had first class trips to different countries when I was on holiday. However, I hated being told what to do. Man, I don't know what it was. It just irked me. And I had some really, really terrible bosses during my time in the corporate world. I also can't stand lies with a passion. So that's why I'm honest, ethical, and real. Now, if you ask me a question, I'll tell you the truth. But I am a highly determined person, and I never wanted to settle in life. The rich dad, poor dad, I was always the rich dad mentality. My 3 goals are freedom, financial security, and fun, because that's what I can teach my kids. I've made a ton of mistakes, and I love mistakes because they teach you what not to do. And I tell you what, I have been through the stress machine, lying awake, worried, sick about money. And I don't want to go there ever again. And what I've discovered is a ton of people lie awake and worry about money, and they don't have to, because property can get us out of that. So I had a really awful boss in the corporate world, and trying to get a pay rise for what I was worth was just a nightmare. So I decided to start my own business, and I started a training and development company called Freedom Consulting. And what I'd do is I'd go into corporate businesses and I'd teach them how to be more profitable. And I loved it. So I started a networking group to refer business, and lo and behold, I got into property accidentally because a whole lot of people in that networking group did property on the side. So I didn't know a thing about property, but I started listening to those people that were doing property, and that's how I got started. And suddenly I realized I can make more money in property. So my first year, I started a company called Jesnick Developments, which was just named after my daughter Jessica and me, Nicole. And I did start one after my son as well. I made 50K. Woo! But you guys might think 50K is good, but if that's your sole income, it's really hard to live on. So it wasn't that great. But the good news was I made a ton of mistakes. And I say it's good news because I successfully learned what not to do, as well as learning what to do, which meant I finally cracked the system and figured out how to do property the right way. But I am just like you, because I guarantee that you have done a whole lot of things right in your life, like I have. There's me on Emirates flying first class, which is, I love Emirates first class. You get your own little sweet and nice bottle of Dom. So a lot of things. In my corporate time, I was headhunted a lot. And in New Zealand, that meant that someone came and offered me a job. I didn't actually have to go and apply for one. I was in companies where I went overseas and I opened their offshore offices. I learned from some of the most incredible and wealthy people in the world. And I tell you what, I'm the type of person, when I see someone who's super successful, I want to go, what do they do? How do they do it? And other people are just jealous and envious. But if you start to learn from those people, they're more than willing to help and teach you. I achieved things that other people couldn't, simply because I'm persistent. If something can't be done, instead of giving up, I will look for the solutions. So I'm a strategist who's solutions oriented. So I create a system that works. And I did that in my corporate job, and I carry that through into property. So I love it when someone brings me a property deal and go, oh, can't make this work. It's like, I can, let's figure it out. But I've also done a lot of things wrong. So this has also taught me a lot. I had, before my property days, a massive amount of bad debt. Credit card with a limit of $120,000. And what did I do? I spent it. So I ended up racking up a huge amount of bad debt. And when you get bad debt, it's really hard to get out of. I also became quite unauthentic because I was in a corporate job I did not enjoy. And I often hear people say, well, you spend so much time in your job, you better enjoy it. Otherwise, what are you doing with your life? And that rang true for me. I also over leveraged myself. So when I did buy rental properties, what I did was I leveraged them up far too high to buy the next one, and ended up so cash negative it all caught up with me. Why? Because I didn't follow the system. Well, actually the system didn't exist. I was doing everything by trial and error, because I didn't have the family to fall back on, and I didn't have anybody to show me how. And in the end, unfortunately, the 2009 global crisis was a massive down cycle, and I lost everything. Everything. At the time, it sucked because I had struggled. And I must admit, I really wanted to give up. I wanted to give up a bunch of times. I had many sleepless nights, and I don't do sleep deprivation well. So what happened was I totally lost my confidence, and I ended up on an emotional roller coaster. And what happens? The person closest to me, my dear husband, suffered. Life became difficult for everybody. And that's not what you want. You know, you often take things out when something goes wrong on those closest to you, because you can't act like that at work because you get fired. So you act like that at home. And I tell you what, I screwed up. Look, before I knew what I was doing, here's a property deal I screwed up. So I bought this amazing house. It was a really ugly purple castle. But as far as income stream number 3 of passive income, it actually fitted the criteria. It had potential and it was cash positive, but it had mistakes. And what I should have done was I should have gone through the consolidation and fixed the things that were wrong with the property. And you see the other picture there of the White House. That's the same house now, but it's not me that did that and made the money. It's the person who bought it from me 2 days before the bank foreclosed. So they made all the money on it, but I got the lesson on it. So this is how I managed to figure out the system. It's not emotional. It's based on fact. So it's very different from buying your family home, and that's what most people don't differentiate from, because they buy their family home first. The system works, like I said before, and I'll repeat myself because this is a point that most people miss. It works anywhere in the world. Now I'm going to show you exactly how to bypass my mistakes, and I'm going to show you how I've now discovered that making 6 figures on the side is actually very simple. I certainly don't work the hours I had to in the corporate world. So now I've just simply got one question for you. Do you want an incredible property lifestyle? And that might mean you might want to fire your boss. Like I had a boss that annoyed me. Or you might decide that, hey, my kids have got 13 weeks of vacation and I've only got 4. I want 13. You might want to just put the time back into your life. Get off this busy and have some time for you. You might want to take the stress out of your life. Or you might just decide, I want to work at home. I want to just work when I want to work and where I want to work. And if I want to wear my undies all day long, that's what I'm going to do. And you want to enjoy your freedom. What did I make this year? So you make money in 2 ways, cash and equity. Okay, so equity is money on paper. So say I go and buy a house for $100,000, I might add a bit of value to it, or it might just simply go up over time. That house is maybe now worth $120,000, so I've made $20,000 worth of equity. It's just money on paper. When you make cash, the equity takes care of itself. Cash happens by creating income. Remember my paycheck, 17238 per month, which I make with no money, which is income stream number 1, and the lump sums I use to buy property, which is also cash. This is exactly how I went from 0 to millions, because I lost it all and I had nothing. So I had to start with nothing and had to make my first million for the second time. And this is how you can do it too. And I tell you what, I am so excited for you if you want to take action, because I know this works and I know I can help you achieve a better lifestyle. It's not a get rich quick, because if you want results, you've got to take some action. So if you're just prepared to take a little bit of action, and people often ask me how much do I need to do, and I would say 10 minutes a day, then I can show you exactly how to get to that 6 figures way faster and way easier. So are you ready? There's actually 3 secrets to property. Secret number 1, you can make money in property without spending a dime of your own money. Okay, this is my favorite thing because I didn't know about it when I started in property. And this is what I call income stream number 1. So let me tell you how I discovered it. Because I actually thought that in order to be successful in property, I had to have thousands and thousands of dollars saved up for a down payment. And I tell you what, I used to wonder, how was I going to achieve that? Because I had a corporate job and I made a great salary and I was actually a relatively good saver. But what would happen was something would go wrong in life, some unexpected bill would pop up and I'd have to pay it and I'd have no money left. And so then what would happen is the property prices would increase and that wasn't in line with my salary. So I really didn't know how I was actually going to get there. So I worried. I seemed to have that worry gene from my grandmother. I worried that I'd never get there and that I would miss out. And then I was at one of my networking meetings and a guy called Sean arrived. He drove up in a Porsche and he walked in like he didn't have a care in the world. And I went up to him and introduced myself and I said to him, hey, I love your car. What do you do? And he said, oh, well, I do property. And I said, oh, like what? Like you're a realtor or something? He goes, no. He said, I make money in property with no money. You can make money without putting any money down. And this just blew my mind, his flyaway comment. And for me, it was a life-defining moment. So what I did was I tuned in to Sean and I gleaned everything I possibly could for him. And you know what? Then I went out there and I took action. And it didn't work to start with because I'd only had this one meeting with him. So I had to make money and lose some and fine-tune it and tweak it until I cracked it. And then, this was one of my best deals. I made $15,000 in 15 minutes because I cracked the system. So I thought, you know what? Imagine if I could do one every month. Pa-ting! $17,238 a month, income stream number 1 with no money. So I didn't borrow anything. I didn't put any money in. I did not have a real estate license and I made 15 grand. So if you can do one every 2 months, that's $90,000 a year, extra cash. If you did 10, and I say 10 because I like to work 10 months a year and have the 2 months of summer when my kids are on their long break off. 10, it's $150,000 cash on the side per annum that you can make. So hey, this is what I've taught people to do. So here's a deal Wayne did. That's the property he did this no money deal on. No money, no borrowing, no real estate license, and he made $33,000 profit on this deal. Here's one that Ben did. He made $22,000 profit. What's the secret? Start here. Start making the small money. And yes, in property, $15,000 is the small money because property is everywhere. You look around you, you're surrounded by property. It's simply a case of looking at it through different eyes. And this is what the gurus don't tell you. And this is all accessible with no money. This is what I like to call earn as you learn. And this is why property is actually easy, which leads us to secret 2. It's the easiest money you'll ever make. I made $15,000 in 15 minutes. Let me tell you my low point. Remember how I said I lost everything? That was $5 million. Gone. And it felt like a nuclear explosion to me. But that wasn't just the money gone. My income was also gone because the company I was working for went under in the Great Recession and they didn't tell me they were going under. So they'd actually sent me off for 3 months to South Africa to open their offshore office, and they went under and stopped paying me while I was there. As a consequence of that, even though I had a year's worth of money in the bank, it wasn't enough, and my property was foreclosed. Not only that one property I've showed you earlier, I had multiple properties foreclosed. Why? Because I'd over leveraged them, and suddenly I had no cash left in the bank and no income. The world was in a recession, so I struggled to find ways to earn that. So not only did I lose my properties, I lost my toys. So the things that we used to enjoy doing all got sold. And as a consequence of that, it affected me emotionally. I lost my passion. I used to always think I was bulletproof and unstoppable. And my husband used to get so sick of me going for a walk along the beach going, "Tal, let's talk about our hopes and dreams." He'd be like, "Oh, not again." Suddenly he was saying, "Let's talk about your dreams." And I'd be like, "Oh, what dreams?" Because I felt guilty. My number one value is family, and I felt like I'd let them down. So now I was at a crossroads. My grandmother always said, life is what you make it. So I had to make a choice. And I thought, well, maybe I'll just do what everybody's telling me to do, and I'll get a job. If you read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, this is the poor dad mentality. But this is what my husband knew, and his family, and my family. This is what they knew. So they were just job, 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 get a job, job, job. So I went and I started looking for jobs, and I got a job offered to me that would pay me $100,000 a year. And some of you might think, wow, that's awesome. But for me, I thought, oh, that's not much, and I have no time. So I actually thought, you know what? I'm not going to get a job. I'm going to get into property, because it was the only way I knew to give me unlimited earning and time to live a stress-free lifestyle. So I got back on the horse. Now I knew what to do. So the first 12 months, remember, I had no money at all. So I had to use income stream number one, no money deals. So I did a 7K wholesale deal. Then I did the 15K on sale deal. So I managed to make 15,000, 20,000 and 25,000. So I thought, hey, that's not bad. That made me add up enough money to buy a property to flip. Income stream number two. And I made 95,000 on that flip. That's not bad for my first 12 months getting back on the horse. The very, very first thing I had to do was get my mindset right, to tell myself I could do it, because I felt useless and I felt guilt. The second 12 months was far, far better. Made 130K on one flip, 200K on another flip, 155K on another flip. And with the no money deals, I took the kids to Disneyland, and I also did the one thing I wanted to do, which was a Caribbean cruise. So imagine if I'd taken the job. I would have been stuck with that 100,000 working all those hours, and it would be far harder than property. So you can see where property got me, because I knew how to make it easy. I want to share some of what my students have actually done. Sasha tells her story because she, when she started in property, was young. She had to build her confidence because she found property daunting, but she did it anyway, and she used none of her own money. So she started with income stream number one. Dan, he had a career in the police force. He actually was interested in property because he knew people that had done well in it, but he didn't know what to do. So he had a real lack of knowledge. So he just followed the system, and what he did was he quit his job. And here's Nick, who's an ER nurse, and Nick loves to help people. So he used income stream number two, flipping property, to get down payments. He built his passive income portfolio and paid a lot of it down, so he could actually choose to retire, but he doesn't want to. He works because he absolutely loves to help people. Jo, she worked just like you and me, but she wanted to make money easier. So she started to do income stream number 1, no money deals, to get enough money to do income stream number 2, flip property, to get enough money to do stream number 3 and buy rentals. And then she only bought a small number, and she was smart. She paid down all of her mortgages. She had no debt. So by the time she reached 39, she had enough money to retire with just income stream number 3, 6 figures of passive income. Today, she doesn't really do much else because she chooses not to. The groundwork is done for you. A lot of people out there say, I just don't have the knowledge, and they also think they get stuck because they haven't got the money, because they don't know about stream 1 and 2. So property's brick and mortar, it's here. So all you need to do is just follow the system like Carl did, like Wayne did, like Dan did, like Joe did, like Sasha did. And you know what? You don't need to be a realtor. You don't have to be a builder. You don't even have to know how to sell anything. You don't even have to swing a hammer. When I do my flips, I do none of the work myself. So let me take you through the numbers so you can actually compare. The average wage is $37,000 per annum. So that's $3,916 per month, and you work on average 40 hours a week. Okay. Now the average property flip makes $65,000. Interesting. It's already above the average wage. That's $5,416 a month. But here's the kicker. You only work 8 hours a week. Now, I don't do any of the work myself, so I probably work 4 hours a week because I go on site because I enjoy going on site. I never stay long, otherwise the tradespeople talk to me and then they bill me for it. Some people say, but I should do all the work myself. And Dan did. He did all the work himself. Then after that, he decided, nah, I'm not going to do it myself. I say, if you love it, do it. It's property lifestyle, your choice. But imagine this, if you did 2 flips a year, that's $130,000 on the side, $10,800 a month, working 16 hours a week. You can see how you can easily make 6 figures on the side. So let's go through and look at these numbers. It's from 2005 to 2018, the average amount of money made per flip. So that goes up and down. You can see 2008, 9, the Great Recession, how it went down. But look at that, money's still made. And if you had the money to buy properties to hold, look at that growth, which is why you can have amazing opportunity when the world is uncertain. So let me show you how it's also the fastest path to making money, because a lot of people think, oh, I haven't got the time to do property, but actually you don't need much time. Forbes tells us that real estate builds more wealth more consistently than any other asset class. The College Investor tells us 90% of the world's millionaires have created their money in property. Andrew Carnegie tells us that more money's been made in real estate than every other industry combined. Our property lifestylers, you've met some of them already. I'm about to introduce you to a few more. Okay, so let's see what some of the others have done. So I love the story about Paul. So Paul worked a corporate job, and let me tell you, he didn't like it. He made this money way faster than 20 years working corporate. Let's see. So he had the corporate job. One day, I'm sitting having a coffee. It was a Tuesday, and walks Paul. And I went, what are you doing? And he went, great news. I had to have a root canal. I've just got back from the dentist. I'm like, what? You're excited about a root canal? Oh, yeah, well, it means time off work. I hate my job. Ding, 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 ding. Why are you working that job? So Paul knew about property. Paul was very adverse to risk, and he was worried about losing what had taken years to build up. So it's like, no, it's a system. So he went out there and he did some flips. And in one flip, now I have to tell you, not his first one flip, he made double his annual salary. And so what did he do? He retired. He makes money from stream 2, flipping property, which he used to pay down his rentals, in stream 3, passive income, and retired. So you can see how it makes sense. And I tell you what, I'm assuming that you are like Paul and Joe and Dan and Carl and Sasha, that you actually don't want to work 8 till 6. It's supposed to be 9 till 5, but we all know we work longer for the next 20 or 30 or 40 years. You actually want the system we follow and to be a 6-figure property lifestyler with freedom. And this is a whole different Paul number 2. Here's Paul having great fun with his kids. So what would you rather do? Be at work for the next 20 years or be out there having fun, living life your way? So imagine what you could do with that money, because you can. Think for a minute. What car would you drive? Where would you live? Where would you go on vacation? Who would you spend all your time with? Because a lot of the time, the people we work with, we don't like them. And when you take notice of the chat around the water cooler or the coffee machine, often they moan, complain, and whinge. And that's not what we want. So ask yourself, if you carry on now doing what you're doing, how long will it take you to get there on your current income? And the answer to this question depressed me in the corporate world, because I didn't think I could get there. Luckily, I discovered property and realised it's the only way to get there. Why? Because property's in demand. Like I've said, look around you. What are you surrounded by? Property, because we've all got to live somewhere. It's bought and sold every day. It's the biggest industry in the world. So what's it worth? Well, in the US, it's worth $31 trillion. In the UK, it's just surpassed $7 trillion. 75% of Canada's national wealth comes from property. So what did I say? You can do it everywhere. Here in New Zealand, it's tiny. It's only worth $32 billion. Property can make you or break you. You can get stuck in the rental cycle, or you can move forward in the owning cycle. You decide. Me, property made my lifestyle. There we are on our Caribbean cruise. All of these things came from property deals, and you can too. Be at your capacity. People say, well, why teach this? It's $1 trillion pie. There's enough to go round. I had stress and sleepless nights. I want to help people move away from that. What's my mission? To get you 6 figures in property as fast as humanly possible, so you can have an incredible lifestyle. Let's create 1,000 property lifestylers. Let me show you the system so you can get your freedom, because it's a walk in the park when you know how. So right now, if it's okay with you, I'd love to show you this exact system I'm talking about. Is that okay? Here is the fast path to earning 6 figures on the side in property with ease. Now, you're also going to get to bypass my mistakes. You don't have to go through the struggle I went through. You don't have to feel alone like I did, or have tears. And I know for blokes, sometimes they go, I don't have any tears. But for the guys out there, the men out there, you've got your families to look after. For the women who are out there earning a lot of money in corporate, you've got your families to look after. So we also don't want to be a grump to our loved ones. So let's jump into it. What is the system? This is 10 comprehensive property modules. I break it down into 45 videos that you follow at your own pace. Plus, you've got downloads, calculators, checklists, spreadsheets delivered by me and some specially selected guests. And Joe, who retired at 39, is one of the guests. This is everything you need to make 6 figures as fast as humanly possible. So let's jump in to what the system is. Content rich videos. This is 50 years of experience. Downloads, checklists, spreadsheets. A step-by-step system designed to get the 3 streams of income flowing fast. So here they are, module 1, aligning your mind. Remember, I said the first thing I had to do was get my mindset right. So if you know why you want a 6-figure property lifestyle, then you're ready to make it happen. It's all about the desire that you have to achieve what you want to achieve. Once you know why and you've got your plan sorted out, you are unstoppable. So then I'll take you module 2, how to set yourself up. So think of a meaningful property name. Then I'm going to take you through the complicated stuff like a trust or a LTC or an LLC, or what do? I'll make that all simple for you. You can get yourself a really cool logo. Why? So you motivate and invigorate yourself so you can get results super fast. I want you to make your first 6 figures in your first 12 months. I'm going to give you the building blocks you need to get there. I'm going to give you property in a box. This is your step by step. What all this property stuff and all this terminology means. The hidden tricks on the agreements of what to look out for and why. These real clever conditions that's taken me years to perfect. They're all there. This takes the risk out completely. I've got them there and I tell you how to follow them and when. This is why the system works when you do it this way. Everything is there. Then I take you through module 4, which is developing your team. You don't want to do this on your own. You get people to do the work for you. This is how you do it fast. This is how it doesn't take you much time. You get the realtors out there to find you the deals. You get online groups, which is a gold mine of information. You go and you go face-to-face investor groups. I've met people there that lend me their money and buy no money deals off me. So they're great sources, plus I learn from them and I've made incredible friends. You'll meet some real clever professionals that you're constantly learning from, and you end up with awesome friends who actually invigorate you. So I come away from these investor groups just buzzing because I've got ideas. Module 5, my favorite, no money deal. There's a no money deal I did, 1.1 million. I didn't put a cent in. This is the best part about property, making money without spending a dime. Remember, income stream number 1. This module takes you through multiple ways to do that. This is how I make my 17,238 per month. Most people don't know this exists, and you can keep collecting over and over and over, just like I do today. Module 6, flipping property. There's my $95,000 flip. Obviously, the top is before, the bottom is after. It's one of my favorite things. What an amazing transformation. And it was a win, win, win for the person I bought it from, me, and the person I sold it to, because this is property with integrity. So this is income stream number 2, and I take you through the exact step-by-step system. I have never, ever lost money on a flip. I show you all of the numbers and give you all of the calculators. So you just key in the numbers. Does it work? Yes, buy it. No, don't. And I'm going to tell you the mistakes I've made. So I actually take you through several flips I've done and tell you exactly what I did right, exactly what I did wrong, so you can avoid those pitfalls. Module 7, joint ventures. That's my joint venture. Now, joint ventures is a very, very smart way to do property. And you know what? A lot of people don't because they're too greedy. So this particular deal, I wasn't sure how to subdivide into 5 sites. So I went and got a joint venture partner. My friend Dave did one at the exact same time. He decided, nah, it's really heaps of profit. I'm not going to share it. I'm going to do it myself. He ended up losing 150,000 and I made 50. So be smart. I'll give you the agreement I use as a basis. I'll tell you the secrets to make them successful and how I turned this into a profit instead of a loss. Module 8, this is the key to income stream 3, passive income. There's a very specific type of property to buy. And so many people go wrong because they think they're going to buy a property like they would want to live in. No, it's a formula, and I'm going to take you through the formula. And then I've learned how to structure my mortgage to literally save me tens of thousands of dollars, and how to keep the bank very happy so I can buy the next one and the next one. It's like chess. You always want to be thinking 3 moves in advance so you don't get stuck not being able to move because you've run out of money. And people often say, oh, it's all very well, I should have started 20 years ago. Yep, 20 years ago was the best time to start in property. The next best time is today. So don't wait 20 years and then regret missing your opportunity today. Module 9, I'll teach you how to secure your wealth. So this is where I take you through my epic crash and burn. I'll tell you where I went wrong. And you know some of those things already. And then once you're making money, the most important thing is to keep it. And even not so long ago, we lost a couple of $100,000 because a company went under that we'd invested in. And I was like, bugger, we've just lost 200 grand. Never mind. Let's use this as an opportunity. And what I did was I went and duplicated, module 10, what I'd done before. And I duplicated stream number 1 and made my 200 grand back with no money. And I ended up making way more than 200,000 and way less than 12 months. So I'm going to take you through the property cycles. Remember, when the world is uncertain, full of opportunity. When the world is thriving, exponential growth. So I'm going to show you how the systems work for each cycle and how to understand the key indicators to know when the cycle is going to move. I'm going to introduce you to Andrew, whose story I haven't told you, who's a 7-figure property guru. So he's going to take you through his story, and he's also going to tell you the key indicators he looks for. And remember, you can do property where? Anywhere in the world. So these 10 modules, as a property lifestyler, you get instant access to an exclusive membership area for life. And as I go through and update the content, you get all of the updates. Yes, lifetime access, forever. This is absolutely real. Amazing how much money you can make just by taking a little bit of time to look on your mobile phone. And I care about your results. Remember how I said family is my number 1 value. I want to lead by example for my kids. So in the past hour, I've shown you how you can make money without spending a dime of your own. I've shared how I do it and how other people are doing it, and I've proved to you it's the fastest and easiest way to make money. Because if you succeed, I succeed. So Ben, who made the 22,000, look at that. He took action, made a deal, made more than half his annual salary. So you are going to love your 6-figure property lifestyle. What you're going to get? Instant access to 10 modules of property gold for life. So that's actually over $12,000 worth of value in these 10 modules. Now, what are they again? Aligning your mind, setting up your business, the property building blocks, growing your team, the no money down deals, how to flip property, joint ventures, how to build your portfolio, how to secure your wealth, and how to duplicate in any cycle. Plus, I'm going to give you a bonus. Remember Jo, who retired at 39? I've invited her here to give you her retire from property package. These are the 4 steps she applied to achieve her early retirement. And remember, she lives a life of freedom, no stress, and wealth today. This comes with all the templates that you can download, and you can apply the 4 steps right now. This is what people don't usually share. So I'm really excited to add this secret formula in to help you create your 6-figure lifestyle even quicker. So what are you going to get? Full access to the course, the 10 modules, plus the retire from property bonus. So that's now $13,435 worth of value. I'm going to give you another bonus. I'm going to give you the fast track accelerator package. What is it? It's all the numbers. These are the spreadsheets, the checklists, the templates, the calculators that have taken me years, and we've spent thousands of dollars perfecting. So you can do all the numbers with the tax, so you can work out whether a project is viable. Years of experience have gone into this. All you need to do is fill out the numbers that I've done for you. the real numbers, including tax. So you download them and you fill in the blanks, and that'll tell you what to do. And I tell you the exciting thing about this, it removes the risk. You will not buy the wrong property because it's a system. So you apply the formula to every deal to see if the numbers add up before you buy. So what are you going to get? Full access to the 10-module course, the Retire from Property package, and Fast Track Accelerator package. Total value of $16,932. And there's one more thing I thought you needed, 7-figure case studies. Instant knowledge from people like Andrew, who are already successful property experts. So you're plugging into a combined 50 years of experience. And these guys tell you what to do, what their mistakes are, and if they were starting again right now, what they'd do. And I met the amazing Dee Hutchinson when I was over in Bali, who's an incredible corporate success coach. And I've put her in there as well, just to help you get out of your own way. So there's these amazing gurus. So what are you going to get? Full access to the 10 modules, the Retire from Property package, the Fast Track Accelerator package, and the 7-figure property case studies. $19,729 worth of value. Now, why am I giving you all this? Simple. I just want to set you up for success. You also get access to our Property Lifestyle Facebook community. You can be inspired. You can share your wins. So remember what one deal's worth. Remember how I made $15,000 in 15 minutes. Remember how we've got wholesale deals there. That first year I got back into property, and how I made money from the joint venture deals and the flip that I showed you there. And module 6, $95,000 by the way, was my worst one. So that's what one deal's worth. If you just did one deal and it allowed you to pay off your debt, is it worth it? If it allowed you more freedom, is it worth it? If it took some stress away, gave you peace and security, is it worth it? So you can see why, if I was to sell you this for $5,000, it's a brilliant deal. Or even if I said it's $4,000 or $3,000 or $2,000, it's a no-brainer. But you've just spent an hour with me, and I want to make this affordable because I want to help you. Time to me is so precious, and I want to thank you for spending it with me, because I know you could have chosen to do other things with your time. So as a thank you, I'm about to give you an incredible offer right now. So if you want to get started right now, if you want instant access for life, you can click the button below or go to propertylifestylelive.com/now. And for a real short period of time, I'm going to let you jump in for just $997. That is incredible. And to be honest, I could have kept all this knowledge to myself, but I don't want to. I want to share it with you because I want you to get ahead so you can see what property can do for you. And $997 is a small investment. Start your property company. It's your first tax deduction. I'm going to be honest, it's easier, and I'm going to make it risk free because I want you to feel comfortable. So I'm going to give you a 30-day guarantee. So if you sign up and you go, oh, I don't like it, it's not what you said, whatever, just email us and we'll give you your money back. Remember the property comparison? Over the next 12 months, you can continue your job and maybe you make $70K. How long will it take you to save an extra $250,000 on that current income? And for some people, that's just impossible. But if you do one no money deal per month, you've made an extra $120,000 cash, income stream number one. If you did one flip in the whole year, my worst one was $95,000. That's income stream number two. That's a total of $215,000 extra cash just by doing two of the strategies I've shown you. Then you could use that money to start income number three, passive property income, and follow the systems to get you to regular passive income. And you know what? This is also super important to me because I've bought courses in the past, not about property, where I've paid my $997 and then I've had to pay another $997 for something else and $1,000 here and $2,000 there to make it work. This one has no hidden costs. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on anything else. You don't have to advertise. You don't need to be an expert. You don't even need to get your real estate ticket. All you need is a phone and an internet connection and some gas. So if you're a dynamo, don't delay. Push the button now. Let's start. If you're deadbeat Doris, you've just got to get in there and make it happen. You can get started for $997. Full access to the 10 modules instantly, plus the Retire from Property 4-step program instantly, plus the Fast Start Accelerator package instantly, plus the 7-figure case studies, $19,000 worth of value for $997 for life. And if you need help, you can make 2 payments if you want to, of $547, or pay it over 6 months, $207 per month, because I want to help you out if you need it. It's already working for some others. $19,000 in a no money deal. So for that person, that was half a year's worth of salary. Someone else used their money to buy a vacation house. Why did they want their own home? So they could take the dog with them. There's Paul. That's how much he made. $306 from that flip that I talked to you about. Here's someone else that made $20,000 from 2 wholesale deals in the United States. Isn't that incredible if you could have an extra 20 grand? This is Arista. She had been one of my one-on-one clients, and here's what she says about working with me. Property with integrity. That is what I do. So I'm honest, I'm approachable. You ask me a question, I'll answer it to you. I'll cut the no bull and I'll tell you the truth. I know property inside out. I've been through up cycles, I've been through down cycles, I've been through in-between cycles. So you get all my contracts in there, you get all my conditions, and I'm happy to share these things with you. Here's Sasha. I told you about her. You've met her already. This is what she says. I encouraged her. She followed the step-by-step program. She found property daunting when she started because she was only in her 20s. But now she finds it easy and readily puts in offers on properties worth hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars, because she was encouraged not only by me, but the people I told her to go and meet. Here's Nick, the amazing ER nurse that has actually made millions of property and chooses to help other people. In fact, just the other day I went and gave him some advice on a property that he was looking at flipping, and I will just tell you the truth. So there's what the others are saying. Come and join me on the inside. Join the Facebook group and our 7 streams of income and our VIP lounge, and you get all the updates for life. Here's what the course looks like. You can get it on your computer, you can get it on your phone, you get it on your tablet. There's all the modules. It's always being updated. That's what you get access to for life. $997 to sign up to get full access, the Retire from Property, the Fast Start Accelerator, and the 7-figure property case study. If you've got any questions, if I haven't answered them, email support@thepropertylifestyle.com. We will happily answer whatever we can for you. And remember, this works anywhere in the world. So thank you for sharing time with me. I look forward to working with you. I can't wait to be your coach and help you build an incredible lifestyle. Bye for now.